All right, so we just covered proportions. You should have done that practice problem. Now, we're talking about another form of proportions, okay? And it's something that we call a scale factor. And this is actually used a lot in the real world. And it's something that is used to show something to scale, okay? So it's used to show the size of larger things on a smaller scale. Okay, so we use scale factor for things like maps or models of like cars and planes and that stuff, or blueprints for houses or buildings or rooms. So if you look to the right, a scale factor would be used to show this little tiny model of this room. I want it on this little tiny piece of paper, but in reality, this room is a whole lot bigger. So I used this scale factor to represent the rooms in this house on a smaller scale. Okay, so it is related to how big it actually is in real life, but you use that scale factor to make it represented on a smaller scale so you can actually see it on a piece of paper. So thinking about this, you're going to be given scale factors and asked to think about the measurements either in real life or on that smaller scale. So you're going to be setting up proportions using the scale factor and solving using the same method that we just did with normal proportions. So to find a scale factor, you've got 3 steps. First, you're going to set up your labels of the 2 things you're comparing. Okay, you can put them in whatever order you want. Then you're filling in the values given to you and you're putting an X for the missing value. And then the last one is cross multiplying and dividing. So if this sounds familiar, it's because it's what we just did. Okay, so scale factors are just proportions. They just use measurements. Okay, so let's do this example together. On a scale drawing of a kitchen, the scale factor is 1 inch to 15 feet. If the actual size of the kitchen is 48 feet, what is the size of the kitchen in inches? So looking back at my steps, first thing is setting up my labels. And remember, labels are attached to the numbers. So I see 1 inch and 15 feet. Well, that tells me I'm going to be comparing inches and feet. So remember, you got to write them out first. I'm going to put the abbreviation for inches and the abbreviation for feet. Now, like I told you guys, you can put them in whatever order you want. You could put feet on top. It doesn't matter as long as you fill in the correct values. But I want inches on top because it came first in the problem. Okay, so did that one. Let's go to the second step. Fill in the values given to you in the problem and then put an X for the missing value. Okay, well, it gives me 1 inch, 15 feet, and then it also gives me 48 feet. So I'm going to fill that in the feet spot. Okay, and then notice here's my missing value again up at the top. So you use an X to represent what you are missing. Last step. Cross multiply and divide to solve for X. Okay, well, that's going to tell me to multiply my corners. So 15 times X. And then that equals 48 times 1. Well, 15 times X, that simplifies to 15X. I can bring my equal sign down. And then 48 times 1 gives me 48. Now my last step is to get X by itself because I want to know what this missing piece is. So right now it's being multiplied times X, so I'm going to divide it out to get just X. This may give me a bad number, but 48 divided by 15, when I type that in my calculator, oh no, it's not bad. It gives me X equals 3.2. So my answer would be 3.2. And then I'm done, okay? So 3.2 inches on that piece of paper. There we go. Now, what you're going to be asked to do is do a practice problem on your own. Okay, so same thing, set up your proportions, solve, and if you need help, go back and rewatch the video.